Hey, double hey, San Francisco Bay, Monterey. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Dr. Shasta.
And we're back with another episode of Your Healthy Living.
Yep.
Yep. We just made it. We certainly
did.
did
Just make
I
it,
did just
you?
make it. Yeah. So
Way
we were
to
down in Pismo today, down in Orange County with a doctor's
That's
visit.
great.
We're, for Gretchen and everything.
Yeah.
And really a fun trip. So
Wonderful.
You look beautiful today.
Thank you. Well, I have one of my favorite people on today. We have Lauren Council. Welcome.
Thank you so much
Hi,
for
Lauren.
having me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
Lauren, at the young age of 25 years old, she was 270 pounds, and she had given up hope that she would ever find the motivation to lose weight. After losing 20 pounds in 1 month due to stomach issues, Lauren received the diagnosis of Irritable Bowel Syndrome and decided this was the wake-up call she needed to finally get her life back on track. In 10 months, Lauren was able to lose a total of 100 pounds. Lauren was recently featured in the People magazine, How We Lose 100 Pounds, June issue, 2018, where she shared her weight loss story and has inspired millions across America and probably the world. So we are so lucky to have you today, Lauren.
Thank you so much. I just am so honored to be here and to have been able to continue to share my story. If I can help one person out there, it's so rewarding for me. So thank you.
Yeah, and you look wonderful. And we want to know, I know somewhat about you.
I don't.
I know about you some from, I met you about a year ago.
Yes, I think a year this month is when we first met.
So this was like just a year ago.
Yeah.
We're not talking like this was years ago.
No, this has
my
been very
gosh.
recent. So,
wow.
Yeah. It's
Congratulations.
Well, today is actually my 1 year anniversary of when I joined the gym.
Oh,
and
really?
Tomorrow's my 1 year of when I started working out with my personal trainer. So it's just kind of ironic that today it happens to be
Happy
year.
anniversary.
So thank you for thank you for
I
having
wish I would have
me.
known. We would have brought a cake in.
And
That's awesome.
She came into acupuncture and Chinese medicine for the, you can tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so my coworker, Hilda, she recommended, I had recently been to an acupuncturist, and he spent just a couple minutes with me just asking my symptoms, and that was it, and then did the treatment. And so she's like, you have to see Dr. Shasta at Way of Wellness. And I mean, the time that you spent with me to really talk about not just my physical health, but mental, emotional, and, creating a plan to really just, heal me as a whole, help my symptoms as a whole. And I just remember leaving just feeling so inspired to really continue on this journey and everything. And so I came in to, have acupuncture done, and so much more came of it with your Kitchery diet.
Yeah.
The Kitchery.
She did the Kitchery. The amazing healing power of Kitchery, for those of you who may not know about it, is a medicinal soup from India that your wife uses
my
daily.
My wife does use that.
And I use to save my own, when my thyroid wasn't working.
I even like it.
You like it? I like it too.
It's good for a taco
When
filling.
I was about 30 pounds overweight, which I'm not proud of, but you know what? It saved my life, and I wanted to share it with America, and I was so honored that Lauren used it, and it helped her, and she went on from there, and she then ended up on the cover of People magazine.
But it's not only a weight loss thing, because I know Gretchen didn't have that.
It's a tonifying cleanse. It actually
it's a
heals your gut.
Yes.
It does detoxify you in a tonifying way because it's high nutrient, low glycemic, and none of the known allergen foods. So it gives your body a chance and your gut a chance to heal, so you can assimilate your nutrients.
So that had to help you with the IBS issue
yes,
then.
I was in a major flare-up, and that I really think helped with the symptoms, because even when I had already been off gluten and dairy for over a month or two, I was still having flare-ups every day. So I think that made a huge impact with that and the weight loss.
The amazing healing power of Kitchery. Don't forget to go to the website, check it out at KIYSradio.com. We'll be right back after this break. You're watching Your Healthy Living.
At Way of Wellness, we help to rebalance the hormones of your body so that it can heal itself. Way of Wellness offers acupuncture, Chinese medicine, functional nutrition, Qi yoga, and wellness coaching. Call 408-615-1995 and start living the life that keeps us well.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Your Healthy Living. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Dr. Shasta.
And we're having fun talking about, something very important.
Very important.
Health.
Well, 70% of Americans are overweight. Half of the 70% are obese. This is an epidemic problem, 70% of the diseases in America are preventable. So what Lauren has done has completely reversed the disease process that she was on, that she would have ended up on medications for and been, who knows, depressed,
All those side effects,
diabetes type issues, etc. And hypertension. She reversed all of that by reclaiming her own health and taking it back into her own hands.
And this is fairly recently.
Yes.
I mean,
it was a year ago, April, that I went into urgent care. I've dealt with digestive issues for years and was in denial about it. And went into urgent care after being sick all night with horrible pain I never experienced. And I won't give you the gory details. But a month later, was diagnosed with IBS, and I was down 20 pounds in that month, just from being so sick. And so that day, I think it was May the 8th, was when I had received the diagnosis. And I just decided I could either keep living like this and be miserable. I missed so much work, social engagements, or I could do something about it. And it was finally the wake-up call that I needed. I've struggled with binge eating since I can remember, been overweight since I was probably about the age of 10, and just never could seem to find that motivation. So it took me hitting that rock bottom to finally have that wake-up call.
So this being the anniversary of the gym thing,
yes,
we're talking within the last 14 months, you've lost 100 pounds.
Yeah. So
wow, that's
right.
cool. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I hit I hit my goal in February, and then been trying to just do maintaining it since then, and working on building muscle. So today is the anniversary of when I first stepped foot in the gym. I probably worked out maybe 10 or less times my entire life. I never worked out, was completely out of shape.
I remember that.
Yeah, and just so insecure about it, and avoided so many opportunities. And so joined the gym a year ago today, and started working with my personal trainer, Jerry Alcaraz, over at 24 Hour Fitness on Parkmore in San Jose. And he truly changed my life. We've built such a great rapport, and he's just given me that extra push to do all those workouts I never thought I would ever be able to do, and keep me accountable. So.
Which I think is, we really do need that outside support as like a team. The studies show that people who are overweight will, if you spend more time with people who are overweight, you will tend to be overweight.
Yeah.
If you spend more time with people who are fit and thin, you'll tend to be more fit and thin.
Yeah, you're like kind.
Yes, that you tend to feed off of each other.
Absolutely.
So getting someone who's empowering to you, has mastery in that area, can help coach you into that way of thinking and that way of being.
Well, I think one of the hardest things, and for me, because I've worked out pretty much my whole life, but sometimes I'll stop. The hardest thing is getting started again. And I got to guess, if you'd never worked, 10
That's
times
what I
in
remember
your life.
when she came in, she said, "Oh no, I'm
Never.
not used to this." And I was like, "Wow, good for her. She's making herself go."
So what was that like, though? I mean, because you got to get them go, oh, God, I got to go to the gym again. How long did it take before it became normal?
It was, I'm not going to lie, it took, I would say, a good month for me to not just have that anxiety every day when I'd go. I made a commitment that day I joined. I would go at least 3 times a week. And those 3 times I would get them done as soon as possible, so that I was done for the week.
Wow.
And within about a month, I found myself going 4 days, 5 days. And I started off training with Jerry once a week, and then turned into 2 times a week, and has been training with him ever since. And it became now it's just a part of my life. I still have days where I'm like, oh, I don't want to go, but it's just part of my lifestyle, and getting there is usually the hardest part. The workouts, of course, can be incredibly difficult as well, but it is the best feeling when you finish and you're done.
And what was your diet and exercise like before the weight loss?
Yeah. Like I mentioned, I never worked out ever, and I would avoid so many opportunities, whether it was hiking or just different things with friends and family, because I was so ashamed of how overweight and out of shape I was. I mean, climbing up a flight of stairs in my own building that I work at, I was out of breath. So that obviously never worked out. And then diet, I struggle with binge eating since I was 10. So I would have my phases of, eating already, overeating, eating so much sugar, fast food every day, and then having my phases of binging with that. I was probably consuming over 3,000, maybe 4,000 calories a day.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was just, getting my big gulp at 7-Eleven, cookies, M&Ms typically was at least once a day. day thing for me. And it was, a lot of my friends would say, I don't remember you having that bad of a diet. And, that's the whole thing with binge eating, is that it's something you don't do in front of people.
You kind of hide it.
You hide it.
Yeah.
You're ashamed of it. So my whole family, nobody knew. They knew I had a bad diet, but they didn't know that I would binge. That wasn't something anyone was aware about until I started talking about it probably about 6 months ago, because I felt like I needed to just open up and get that out.
Is that like a sugar addiction? I mean, is that part of what creates the binge?
Food addiction. I mean, and the emotional component.
Emotional eater, yeah.
Do you know what triggered the binge eating since you were 10? I mean, do you remember an incident that happened?
I don't remember that first day. I just don't really remember life before that, or at least before overeating. And I would say, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 7, and she fought for almost 10 years. So most of my childhood, she was, battling breast cancer. And I was definitely an emotional eater, and just, if I was having a bad day or struggled, with my weight, things would come up, whether it's sometimes bullying. And if anything, it just made me go deeper and deeper. So I graduated 8th grade at 187 pounds. I went back to get my records. And then in high school, I graduated at 237 pounds. Wow. And I gained 15 pounds the month before she had passed away. In 1 month, I gained 15 pounds. And she passed away the week before my high school graduation. And it just continued. So it only went up my entire life.
So
and I mean, like the sugar and the carbohydrates that make us gain this weight generally is a sweet flavor. And in Chinese medicine, the sweet flavor is connected to the earth element or the mother element, the spleen, the stomach, and the pancreas.
Wow, that's
And
weird.
so when someone is having excess craving of sweet, we have to think, how can we truly nourish the earth or the mother element? And those are things that healthy protein. Protein is an actual sweet flavor, believe it or not, that doesn't make you gain weight. Deep-rooted vegetables, whole, real, complex carbohydrates, not the refined ones, and just sweet things, sweet, nourishing things that we can do for ourselves and say nice things to ourselves.
What do you mean emotional, like
emotionally
physically?
Sweet.
Okay.
That's the flavor. And I think that's what is missing in America, is that the mothering, nurturing sweetness, both from people to us and us to ourselves. And it's causing a great imbalance in cravings for the sweet flavor.
And that's why we have KIYS, the Kindness in Your Soul Network.
That's why we're here.
We're here to create the sweetness so you don't eat
in
it.
your life, right?
And it makes sense if you said it was about 7, right? That you said it started with your mom.
Yeah.
And, thank gosh it wasn't, and I got to guess with teens and something like that, it might turn into drugs and addiction and alcohol. Because I think when you're younger, it probably has to push to food because there's not that availability.
Well, the difference between food and drugs and alcohol, you can't avoid food.
Right.
You have to
eat it.
So it's something that you can't avoid. I found, though, once I started this weight loss journey, as food is a trigger. Certain foods are triggers. So there's certain foods I just don't buy. I just avoid them because it's hard just to have one potato chip or one scoop of peanut butter. I can do that socially and eat it socially with friends, but if it's in my house and I'm by myself, why tempt myself and make it more difficult than it has to be?
Too.
So I just avoid it because I know my limits, and some people would think, well, just work on it, and maybe one day I can get better with certain foods. But
mine is warm chocolate chip cookies out of the oven. Boy, the whole pan's gone, and I'm why did I do that?
Exactly. It is. It's hard. It's so hard to stop.
It is. It's tough. I just keep them away from me.
Exactly. So, and I don't think.
I think that's an important point. People shouldn't buy that stuff. If you don't want to eat it, don't buy it.
From it.
Exactly.
Don't put it in your house.
Yeah.
Because it is hard.
That requires discipline,
especially when you get tired and you need that quick pick-me-up. You're going to go and pick those things up if they're in your house, versus having blueberries or almonds. Or what is your typical diet like now, so people can learn?
Yeah, I mean, now that I'm working out as often as I do, I eat more like, anywhere between 1,800 to 2,200 calories. But when I did first start, I was kind of between that 1,200 to 1,400, and I just eat whole foods, healthy fats, a lot of healthy proteins. I try to do low carb. I eat a lot now, but I do have my meal prep, and I have healthy food around me all the time, so I don't have an excuse to go and get that fast food or whatever it is.
Right.
And that's something too, is I've shared kind of my meal plan. I log everything in MyFitnessPal, and it's something I'm happy to share with people, is what my typical daily, food log looks like.
Great, and you're going to share with us later how people can follow you and learn these wonderful.
Yeah, that helps with the discipline, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we'll be right back with Lauren Council right after this commercial break. Stay tuned. You're watching Your Healthy Living.
I do traditional Chinese medicine, and that includes 5 different branches: acupuncture, massage, yoga, tai chi, qigong, herbal medicine, and nutrition. It is amazing in helping the body heal itself, that it releases the body's natural endorphins, serotonin, and seems to rebalance the hormones of the body.
Lower back pain was taken care of very quickly, 6 treatments, and I was pain-free. And this was like 3 years ago, and I've remained pain-free.
I've grown up in the Bay Area, and I have had my own practice for over 15 years. When I was 12, I decided I want to be an acupuncturist, and by the time I was 25, I was licensed.
I have thyroid condition and stress, big time. When I walk out, I'm feeling like a whole different person. It's definitely a blessing to be able to come here.
I love helping women have babies, and the day that they actually get pregnant, the look in their eye is like, it's the best thing ever.
I've been struggling trying to get pregnant for the past 3 or 4 years. I came to Shasta. I would totally recommend her to anyone out there that is trying to get pregnant. She will do great for you.
Way of wellness has to do with living a life that keeps us well.
Hi there, this is Alexander with It's All About the Show. You know, I've been with Money Concepts since 1994, and they have been the primary catalyst for my success as a financial advisor. If you're looking for a career change and you want to help people for a living, check out moneyconcepts.com/ALEE or call 946-8378 today. Hey, double hey, San Francisco Bay, Monterey. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Dr. Shasta.
And we're back with Your Healthy Living. Can I say that again?
I think you can.
I feel like I'm on Looney Tunes. That's all, folks.
I told him that sometimes he looks like he's got Tweety birds above his head.
Yes, that was before the show. But you're not giggling at me too much, just a little. But Lauren Council has lost 100 pounds in the last 13, 14 months. Yep. And you look great, by the way. And yes. I know you've seen this pretty much this whole transformation, right?
Well, she would send me pictures, and I was there in the beginning as her kicking off into it and helped her stomach feel better so she could do it. And the Kitchery does help cut the sugar cravings because it has some bitter flavor to it. And bitter taste buds are not stimulated in our American diet, and when they aren't stimulated, you crave for more and more sweets. When they are stimulated, the sweet doesn't taste as good. That's one thing people don't realize.
So that would be like Angostura bitters or like kale the bitter greens, things like that. But the mung beans, Brussels sprouts, yeah. And that's why in Europe they use digestive bitters after they eat because it helps get the digestive juices flowing and decrease the sugar cravings that usually come after eating. We didn't figure that out in the bar. We used to put Angostura bitters on lime and then put sugar on top of it for an upset stomach. Oh. I don't know why you put the sugar on it if you got the Angostura bitters. Make it taste better. That's nasty. Ugh. So anyway, we have Lauren, who has an amazing story to share with America and the world as this epidemic of being overweight and obesity is causing havoc. Actually, every industrialized nation where refined food is, this problem is occurring. And it's a problem in the healthcare industry too. Oh, yeah. It's really sad because now the children are becoming overweight and obese and having, honestly, hormonal imbalances, and it's affecting their fertility. It's affecting the boys getting boobs and the girls getting hair growth everywhere and becoming infertile. And I do specialize in fertility, and I have to help them a lot with the food and the sugar issues. And it does make a big difference. But I mean, it's literally affecting the fertility of Americans. And it's becoming cultural in its essence, if you think about it. It really is.
Well, and it's such a social thing. I think about every time I had a good grade on a report card or whatever it was, a performance at school, the first thing we would do would go get ice cream. And it just was something that was food was such a big part in our family. And I think, too, with my mom being sick and with breast cancer, my dad working as much as he did to support us and take care of her as well, diet was just not important.
Right.
It wasn't something that we really focused on.
Right.
And I can't fault them for that at all because of all that they had going on. But it definitely, I've struggled with it since I can remember. And I think so many kids, like you said, it's becoming such an epidemic.
But it's been a pretty normal thing to do those kind of celebrations for years and years. But I think
our food has changed too. They've genetically modified our food. They've increased the gluten by 41 times in the little wheat kernel, which makes everything more gummier.
Portion sizes have
portion
become
sizes
crazy.
are much
That's
bigger.
The thing I don't think I realized is portion size until I started logging on my MyFitnessPal was 5 ounces of chicken. What is that? I was easily eating 12. And so it's until you really weigh or measure how much the serving portion is, it's so hard to really estimate that. I still struggle to estimate.
And drinking our sugar, drinking our calories.
I drink 10 Pepsis a day easily.
That's the number one cause of weight gain is actually the sugary drinks.
Yeah.
People don't know in the fruit juices too.
Alcohol.
Alcohol turns to sugar, right?
Yeah, sugar.
I say every time somebody gets a good grade, just give them a bouquet of parsley.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
So give us an idea of what a typical day of your food is like, so Americans can know what tastes good, what do you enjoy. It sounds like you're getting a lot of good calories.
Definitely. So my go-tos, especially now that I am working out as often as I do, and healthy foods is I'll have hard-boiled eggs in the morning. I smash up with some light mayo, some sweet potatoes that I roast ahead of time, a protein shake. Love the chocolate. The one that you recommended is the Vega protein shake. I've been drinking that ever since. Can't get enough of it. For a snack, I usually will have some hummus and veggie straws. My go-to for lunch is usually just like turkey roll-ups with some avocado, light mayo, maybe a little salami, a Kind bar. I love Kind bars. And then a protein shake at some point. And then for dinner, some chicken or salmon with some roasted vegetables. So I eat like every couple hours. I mean, I feel like I'm snacking all the time.
You're supposed to.
You're supposed to. And some people go, oh, fasting is good and this and that. Chinese medicine doesn't believe in anything in the extremes. They believe in just balance and steady.
Keep dripping it along.
Like consistency, eating with the seasons, eat for your body type. Don't have a lot of frozen cold food because it shuts down your digestive fire. Eat more, eat in balance, like a protein, a carb, and a fat with every meal.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
I do, if anything I have learned, though, is you do have to be realistic and do what works for you. Because I think there are so many diets out there, but I think a lot of them do have in common is doing, protein, healthy fats, low carb. And that's kind of the trend usually, and that's really what I think makes a huge difference.
Is paleo kind of like that?
Paleo is. It does leave out the carbs at all and the beans. I don't agree with leaving the beans out. And actually, that has been debunked.
Really?
Legumes are good for us. They just have to be soaked well enough.
Right. Well, and because of IBS, I went gluten-free, which had made a huge difference. And then I was already lactose intolerant. So I've been dairy-free and gluten-free. And I've allowed myself a couple times to have things with gluten to see kind of how my body responds. And I just really crave it once in a while. And I found it's not worth it. So that made a huge difference for me.
How is your stomach feeling now?
It's, my symptoms are very minimal. And I'm not even taking the medicine that I was on when I first was diagnosed with IBS.
Great.
I would say what it's crazy is I think you had been the one to mention to me is that there's the connection between, your brain and your gut. And so I find when I'm having symptoms, it's because of stress. Because my diet is very consistent. I work out. I drink a lot of water. I'm eating so healthy. Really, I eat very healthy. So it's the stress that will trigger and
the
give
mind.
me flare-ups.
The mind has such an amazing impact.
Oh my gosh.
And what do you do to help yourself when you're stressing out?
I'm finding that now working out has obviously been a really great stress release. I had a stressful day on Sunday and I found myself at the gym for almost 3 hours and I was such in the zone. It felt great. It didn't feel like I was forcing myself to be there that long. I was shocked that I was there that long and I normally am not there for a full 3 hours. Just doing that and trying to just work on, being kind to myself and those positive mental thoughts is a big thing because something with I hit my weight loss goal in February, but maintaining the weight has been so much more of a difficult battle for me, at least. It's such a mental battle. Everything with weight loss, maintaining the weight, it's really mental.
And I really am glad you're sharing that with people because it's like people could look at you and go, "Oh, she did it. I probably can't." But the reality is you have to fight those negative thoughts off
all the time.
And you have to think. You have to force yourself to think positive thoughts and do positive actions.
Yeah.
And I want to say that when I was really sick with my hypothyroidism and gained 30 pounds in 6 months, which really sucked, I didn't feel good and I didn't have a mental a good mental state of positivity, but I took positive actions. And that's what I always tell my patients. In the beginning, you may not feel good because you don't feel good.
Yeah.
So
it
just
hurts.
take positive actions, and in time, you'll start having positive thoughts.
Absolutely.
Because people go, oh, you must be having negative thoughts to be like that. I hate it when people do that to people. That just makes it worse.
Yes.
No. Encourage people to do positive actions, and in time, the positive thoughts will come.
Absolutely.
I still
kind of
have
fake it till you make it, almost, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, just do it, get out there and do what you know that you need to do. And I think over time, it becomes mentally easier.
I still have that visual of the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other one. You know,
I have that
what
all the time when I want to go
Right.
for a cookie. And I do treat myself. I mean, now, especially since I hit my goal, I find that I stick to my diet pretty well during the week. On the weekends, I can have a big burger and fries and
enjoy yourself.
You know, I
it's
still
like
stick
the
to
80%, 20%,
absolutely.
right?
I still stick to the gluten-free and dairy-free, but I can enjoy and still have my wine and everything like that.
So your goal was 100 pounds.
My first goal was 70 pounds, and then I hit that goal, and I set that goal to be down 70 pounds by the time I turned 27, which is a month away from a couple days ago, and I actually hit it in October. So I hit it only a few months after I set that goal. I was already down 40 pounds when I set the goal, and I thought, 30 more pounds, I don't think I can do it. So I gave myself over a year. And then once I hit October, I thought, I'm going to go for the full 100, and I lost that by February.
So that's 10 months. I was trying to do the math
total,
when you started.
yeah.
So you lost 10 pounds in 10 months, every month for 10 months.
Yeah, about I averaged
which is
10
very
pounds
healthy.
a month.
Holy criminy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and she created a vision board, which some of you may not know, but it's a way of being able to visually see who you want to be and what you want to be able to do, because all the studies show that having a vision is the number one key, as well as external journals like the Fit Pal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
how do we get
how
hold
do
of you?
people get a hold of you to get some of your healthy tips?
So I'm on Instagram, Lauren E. Liz Healthy Livin, no G at the end. And then my email is laurenelizhealthylivin@gmail.com. And I have an email that I wrote up for my family and friends that I always am excited to forward on to anybody that reaches out. Just my go-to tips, because it is hard. There's no magic pill, but I truly believe I can do it. I really believe anybody can. You have to find that motivation and keep pushing yourself, because you can go that extra mile. You can do that.
And Lauren, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story.
That's awesome.
And just being able to inspire others to take that first step.
Well, I'm just so honored to be here, and if I can help one person out there, it makes the world a difference for me, at least. So,
don't forget, you can get a hold of her at Lauren Eliz at Healthy Livin. Lauren Eliz Healthy Livin at Gmail, or check her out on Instagram. Thank you again, Lauren.
Thank you so much for having me.
Don't forget to tune in to KIYSradio.com for all our shows, and like us on Facebook. We appreciate you joining. Appreciate your healthy living. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good day.